Ever wonder why your business isn't getting found in AI search results, even when your Google ranking looks pretty great? Well, today in this video, I'm going to talk about the new rules of getting found online and what most businesses are missing out about AI powered search. All right, so this new thing called generative engine optimization, GEO, right? This is the difference between SEO and GEO. SEO is search engine optimization. That's the old school way of getting found on Google. You would basically write a bunch of blog articles and make sure that you have blog articles mentioned on other people's websites. And it's all blogging, right? It's all just making sure that you have a lot of presence online in this particular format with keywords. And so the difference between SEO and GEO is keywords versus being cited in more of an organic way, right? And so keywords were Google's way of making sure you have this keyword 37 times in each article and yada, yada, yada. So you're ranking for keywords. Well, SEO and GEO are a little bit different in the sense of, people aren't using Google as much anymore. People are using ChatGPT. People are using Perplexity. People are using Grok. And how you get found on these different LLM platforms with AI is very different because AI kind of acts not human, but much more like a human in the sense of it can search multiple times. It can search longer keyword phrases to actually go out and find what it thinks that you're actually searching for. So I might just describe something in more of a natural language. I might not even know the right term or word, but it knows the right word. So it's going to actually be the one writing that search term. And it's going to go out and it's going to read several articles. And then it's just going to summarize some type of answer for you. And so when you are actually doing AI search, it's much, much different. And so this is why they're calling it generative engine optimization. How it works, let's go into ChatGPT real quick. If I went into Google and I said, HVAC companies near me, right? It's basically going to go out and search for anything near me if I use my precise location, right? Allow all visiting the site. So it's going to go out and search for HVAC companies near me, right? And so this is an example of SEO. It's keyword ranking and making sure that you've got your Google My Business account set up and all these other things. Whereas in ChatGPT, I might not search HVAC companies near me. I might say my air conditioner is broken. Is there anyone who can help me? And what it's going to do is it's actually going to create its own search terms and it's going to go out and find them. And it, for some reason, decided Keenan Heating and Air is the one that it wants to recommend to me. And it only gave me one. It didn't give me 100. It didn't give me a ton of, you scroll down, I've got 10 pages that I can keep going through and looking at all of them. But I don't even know if Keenan, how do you spell Keenan? Kenan, right? Kenan doesn't even show up on the first page. And so the fact that I'm getting Kenan to show up with ChatGPT is something that is noteworthy. We need to be paying attention to that. Okay. So that's just an example of it. Now, if we go on to how things have changed, right? Before with Google, now with AI, you've got long, complex questions with AI, multi-source searches, refined answers through chaining. And so it's basically going to search, then search again, then search again. That's called chaining, right? And so it can kind of just continue to search until it thinks that it's accomplished the task that you gave it. And so it also pulls not just from websites, but from things like Reddit, Twitter, reviews. And so it's taking into account all kinds of things. For instance, if you have great keyword ranking on Google, but you have terrible reviews, you might actually rank okay on Google, but ChatGPT is not going to recommend you because it thinks this is not what they're actually looking for. They would not appreciate this HVAC company because the reviews are terrible. So things like that start to matter a lot more than they used to. Now, the basics of GEO for every business. I'm going to show you a couple more examples, but it is a little bit old school, right? Making sure that you have good articles, you've got your website set up right, it's loading fast, because if it doesn't load fast, then it's still going to matter for ChatGPT being able to read it quickly, and these other factors that still mattered for SEO. But you'll also need to factor in new things like making sure that you've got the right, reviews and FAQs and location information, that you have good online presence with things like Reddit or Twitter or these other things. It's not necessarily just content creation. It's responding to comments from real life people out there on these different platforms. And if you have an industry that's unique to a certain website, like maybe in the wedding industry, there's Wedding Wire and there's the knot.com or things like that, you need to be taking into account any comments that happen in that kind of community, that area, because it probably will show up when the AI searches. Now, I want to show you Perplexity. Perplexity is my research tool of choice, but it actually kind of shows you how it searches. So if I said the same thing, I come in here, I just copy this, paste that same thing. My air conditioner is broken. Is there anyone who can help me? It's going to search HVAC repair, air conditioner repair, reliableair.com. It kind of searched a couple of things. Now you can contact Reliable Air, blah, blah, blah. It kind of decided who it was. Give me more options. And if you scroll up and you click these two steps, you can see, retrieving detailed information about HVAC repair services in this area. You can contact Reliable Heating and Air in Cumming, Georgia, and they offer 24/7 air conditioner repairs. But then if I said, give me more, Canon shows up again. Great job, Canon. Whatever you're doing is doing pretty well. And then you've got Key and Coolray and these other options, right? And so for whatever reason, they are showing up. And if I come up here and look at these steps, we've pulled up, these different options from Yelp and locations.abm and these other platforms. And so Yelp was a big one. And so if I came down and I could just say, only show me ones with great reviews, right? This might be a conversation that I have with AI. So you can continue a conversation with AI when it comes to research. And this is something that people need to take into account, that you're not just searching and then clicking on somebody's website and then reading off the website. Your website matters a lot less than it used to now. It matters more in the fact that AI is the one reading your website. People are not going to be reading your website as much because people are going to Perplexity, ChatGPT, Grok, whatever it might be, Gemini. So if you come in here, let's take a look. We have found reviews. You looked at all of the websites, Angie's List. It even looked at Instagram, right? And so you can kind of see these different social platforms. If I go into Grok and I say the same thing, let's put you in search mode, Grok for fast. All right. Sorry to hear about your AC is out. Thanks so much. Now, if I click on this right here as an AI expert, blah, 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 blah. Yep, didn't find any. Find me an HVAC company near me. Oh, doesn't know where I'm at. That's fine. Search near greater Atlanta area. All right, so now it's searching in that area. It looked at Reddit, Forbes, these different areas. Reliable is killing it. They've shown up in almost every single search, which is great for them. And then it gives you a table of all of these options. But again, remember, I'm not actually going to any of these websites right now. I'm just looking at them. And then I might just say, give me a recommendation. Which one has the best reviews? I'm trusting the AI. And so most people are going to do the same. So if you don't focus on getting your business to really show up as much as possible, like Reliable and Canon, whoever they are, they're doing a great job. They probably focused on all of it, not just one. Articles, making sure your website is set up properly, making sure that you're focused on Reddit and Twitter and other types of platforms where people are having conversations about your business, and continuing to double down everywhere so that when anybody searches, they're not going to just search HVAC. They're going to search, I need help. And can you find somebody for me? And then AI is going to go out there and do the searching for them. So you need to make sure that your business is set up for this. Now, if we come back in here, managing your online reputation, the first thing you need to do is monitor. Okay. So you would basically search for yourself. You would search on Google, you would search in Gemini, you would search in ChatGPT, search on Perplexity, Grok, do all of them. Okay. And search in various formats. Search HVAC, search I need help with my air conditioner. Search, my heating is not working for some reason. Search, it's cold in here and I can't get it to warm up for some reason. These different types of searches that real life human beings might search if they don't know what HVAC is, or whatever your business is. And this is really going to help you to determine, whether or not you're showing up and what other businesses are showing up and how you can kind of start to compete with that. Now, if you want to search for specifically Reddit, Twitter, review sites like that, you can go into Perplexity. And then down here, this little globe in the bottom, you can click on this, turn off web, and turn on social. And then let's just look up, tell me what people are saying about reliable heating and air. All right, so this is showing up. Reliable heating and air are mixed with both positive and negative. And if you click on this, it's pretty much only pulling up Reddit. Perplexity kind of favors Reddit. Grok is going to favor Twitter and X. And so you can kind of check both of them if you wanted to see what is actually coming up for these. But this is a great way to just kind of see what they're saying, what the positive reviews are, the negative reviews are, HVAC emergency. Then you could actually click on it and go and see what people are saying about it. And this can really help. Now, if you see HVAC emergency, a lot of times you'll actually see the company come in here and respond to whatever somebody else is saying. And so this can be a great example of you coming in and making sure that you are responding to these things. And that's part of what we're going to talk about here. So the first thing you need to do is monitor. The second thing you need to do is respond. So if you ever get a negative review, kind of shift that with a positive response. If it's legitimate, then you need to be apologetic and you need to fix that right there. If it's not legitimate, you need to correct that right there. Because if ChatGPT comes across a negative comment on the internet and you didn't correct it, then it's going to think that that's legitimate. And so you need to be actively taking a look at what's on the internet being spoken about your business, and then go in and speak the truth about your business. And if it's wrong, like if it's legitimate that somebody says something negative and you drop the ball as a business, the best thing you can do is fix it. Not correct it, don't lie, fix it. Go in there and say, we're so sorry. This is what we're going to do to make that right. And when you do that publicly, because they complain publicly, you corrected it publicly, and ChatGPT is going to be like, wow, okay, they've got great customer service, And so it's going to have this positive effect. But like, if the worst thing you could do is just not do anything, let negative things be said and you don't say anything. Let positive things be said and you don't say anything. It's not going to hurt you, but you could double down and reinforce positive things. Thank you so much. I'm so thankful for this positive review. We're actually going to send you a free gift basket or something, whatever you can do to reinforce the positive things. ChatGPT, Gemini, these other tools, they're going to see that and they're going to basically take that into account and weigh it against all of the other things that they're finding. And so first you need to monitor, and second, you need to respond. Now, best practices for improving your GEO, generative engine optimization. Regularly update your website, update the listings, your profiles, and make sure that it's all up to date. Use customer stories, guys. Like if you're not, before it was just, here's our business and here's what we do. But like you need to use customer stories in story format, because AI takes all of this stuff into account much different than Google ranking used to. And so it was more about the keywords before, but now it's more about kind of just the way that a story comes across. And so when you share a story about a customer, what they were dealing with, the problem they were experiencing, how you came in and helped solve that problem for them, then that can be a positive thing. And the AI is able to take that into account in a way that Google rankings never were. And so you can include stats, source data. AI really wants accurate information. So when you have supporting information in your articles or on your website, that can be really helpful. And then obviously encourage reviews. The more reviews, the better. The more positive comments on Reddit and Twitter and these other platforms, the better. And so encourage your customers to talk about you on the internet. Now, simple next steps for business owners, right? Number one, test your presence. You need to go in, test Google and Google Gemini specifically, test Perplexity, test ChatGPT, test Grok. Claude has a search function as well, but most people are going to be using ChatGPT. That's the number one go-to. or Gemini. I believe those are really going to be the more popular ones. And then my personal favorite is going to be Perplexity. But not everybody's using that, but you definitely want to use that to kind of test how things are getting brought to the surface for you. And then just take into account all of them across the board, because Gemini is going to favor Google still, whereas ChatGPT might not. It kind of has its own search engine, and Perplexity and Grok the same. And so test all of them. Set up alerts if you can, right? So if you can monitor your business name on Reddit or Twitter, there are ways to do that. There are tools out there that can alert you anytime a positive or a negative thing is said about you on the internet. Then you can instantly respond to that. And that's really going to help you. And then build a routine, right? You just need to be checking this stuff regularly. I would say monthly is probably the minimum that you want to be doing this. On the early end, you might be want to do this every single week. And so kind of getting into that routine and rhythm, or having somebody on your team getting into that rhythm every single week, every single month, that's really going to help you, because now it's less, like I said, it's less about SEO. It's less about showing up in Google rankings. It's more about when people want your services, they're going to ChatGPT to find you. And if they can't find you, you can't help them. And so this is going to be really, really important for you guys as you begin to do this. Now, I'm a big fan of AI tools. We've got lots of videos. So if you want to like, subscribe, we have all kinds of topics about AI tools, Perplexity being one of them. So if you want to watch that video on how to do some deeper research, better understand that research tool, you can click this link right here and watch that video next. Otherwise, would love to work with you guys if you ever need somebody to help you with your AI journey, whether it's AI automations or custom software. Madewell is the company that can help you with that. And so we'll have a link in the description that you can click and just schedule a call with somebody from our team. But best of luck to you on this new journey with generative engine optimization.